What are secure borders supposed to be for? Well, if you're in the United States, apparently secure borders don't matter because we'll let anybody in, apparently. Hi, everybody. I'm David Solomon. I'm here with my good friend Stuart Brisgall, who's right over there. We are the Rant Network. And if this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. Whereas we dive into raw, unfiltered issues spanning the news, pop culture, politics, and so much more. We love to dissect today's absurdities, and this is another one of those absurdities. We dive into society's deepest seated issues, and let me tell you, here at the Rand Network, we keep it real. Everything you hear, you see, and all that, we take one shot. No, we don't edit. We don't bother like other podcasts where we got to make it clean and nice. Whatever we say is what we go with. So buckle up, everybody, because today it's gonna be a fun one. I started by saying, Stuart, that the borders are ridiculously insecure. I crossed the border today. I had to go through security. I had to go through customs. I had to go through all these things to cross into your United States. I am a honorable citizen. I had my documentation. I'm okay, but I still had to go through a grind. But apparently, your southern border simply doesn't matter. You'll let anybody in with fentanyl, with guns, with God knows what in mind. And it seems to not matter to that old guy in the White House. Stuart, I'm throwing the ball at you, bud. Go for it.
Let me start off because true to form, what do I constantly do? I try and educate and explain things. So let's first start this rant by explaining what a border definition is. A border is a physical or imaginary line that separates two or more areas, such as countries, states, or regions. Borders are often marked by fences, walls, or natural barriers like a river or mountains. They serve to define a territorial limit of a particular area and are important for regarding the movement of people, goods, and animals. Will include fentanyl, arms, terrorists. Borders can also have a cultural, political, and economic significance, influencing trade and immigration, international relations. In context of computer science, a border can refer to the edge of a window, container, or other geographical element interface. Now, why did I spend the whole entire 2 minutes explaining what a border is? Because if you're a member of the Democratic Party, you seem to have lost your marbles and invented your own vernacular that border means imaginary concept of what it means to have a country. Because without a border, you have no sovereignty. Because what's the point? Like David said, he flew to Florida from Canada. He had to present his passport. He had to go through a security checkpoint. He had to have all his bags x-rayed. If he carried liquid, had to throw it in the garbage, had to get stuff confiscated. And heck, sometimes he even get a cavity search. Okay? But over on the southern border, they just walk across, crawl through a fence, swim through a piece of water, pay someone called a coyote. And I don't mean Bugs Bunny and the coyote. I mean a coyote as a cartel member to sneak you into a country that has a wide open border. I cannot for the life of me understand where the concept has gone to. Because you know what? People like the squad, they want to defund the police, defund the border. Biden, I've done all I can do because I can't remember what I did. That's why that's all you can do. I don't do anymore. It's the Republicans. I've never heard any asinine comments from the DNC about the moronic president of the United States, the largest invertebrate to ever serve in office next to Jimmy Carter. Wow, I mentioned Jimmy Carter. Man, let him rest in peace, maybe. Maybe not. The peanut farmer was a joke. That's why you had for hundreds of days, yellow ribbons tied around what? 4?
400 over 400 days.
Thank you, history buff. Yellow ribbons tied around a tree. Do you remember that? You know,
Yep.
most people don't recall, but it was the current president at that time, Jimmy Carter, that failed to be able to get Iran to release these prisoners. Look at us today. We have Iran bombing people, blowing people up, but we're talking about borders. Now, if you crossed into Iranian territory, you'd be shot, killed, kidnapped,
Hold on, hold
held
on, hold on,
against.
hold on. You can't exactly get in to Iranian territory that easily.
Wow,
Okay? It's harder to
really?
get into Iran and to other places than it is into the United States, my
Hey,
friend.
what about getting into Canada?
Listen, the getting into Canada, there is a little opening in southern Quebec, by the way, that they also like are trying to block off because all the southern people come through the southern border and they don't find loving, reception in the United States. They're coming into Canada through that pass. So we're true have a little bit of a problem there at at the border.
What?
US,
Who wants to
but
go to the
nothing,
freezing north? They're complaining
Stuart.
about the Chicago,
Now,
New York.
but Stuart, let me ask you a question. Okay? Here are these immigrants who are coming into the United States illegally, and we just
Yeah,
had an
yeah,
experience
David,
where,
like
where
this.
yeah,
They're
we had an
coming
experience
like this.
where immigrants were beating up a cop, and they got released from jail. And I'm asking myself, who's running this crazy asylum? Okay, I know that Joe Biden is sitting here blaming the Republicans that he needs the money and he doesn't know what to do, and he's done everything he could for the border. And Karine Jean-Pierre lies about the fact that he's done historical things at the border, and that Kamala Harris has been the phenomenal vice president when it comes to the border. I've heard all this BS, but at the end of the day, you have millions crossing the border illegally. You have thousands and thousands of confrontations per day with INS or IMS. I just don't get it. INS. I just don't get it. Why? I mean, now some mayors are freaking out, but this is a major bloody issue that's going to screw your country up, man. Why aren't more people yelling about this?
Yeah, it's a great question. They are yelling about it. You know what they're yelling? Yippee ki motherfucker! Yeah, I can say fuck you. That's
Hey,
what's
oh,
happening.
okay, but
That's
that's
what's
what
happening.
that's what we saw in New York. But
Sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
talking about, but I'm talking
We're gonna
about
get
Stuart.
censored.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
We're gonna get censored.
I know,
I
no, but I'm
just
talking
I
about. I
just
know.
stole the cliche from Die Hard. So Bruce Willis, I'm sorry.
No, but I'm
Yippee-
asking you, Stuart, American citizens. I get the notion of we feel bad. But we saw that Governor Abbott in Texas, and now you've got Governor DeSantis, and you've got all the southern governors, whether they're Democrat or Republican, saying this is a problem. And Abbott then takes his own action because the federal government won't move their butt. And now the federal government wants to take Governor Abbott in Texas to court over securing a border.
Yep.
Could you explain that one to me, please?
Sure. This country is a republic. And the governor did what he had to do. But the federal government doesn't like the republic. Why? Because a republic makes decisions solely based off of the needs of the jurisdiction that the republic runs, and those are called states. Now, the difference is Abbott did what the federal government should have done is say, thank you for coming to our border. We have a process. Can you please follow it? The door's there. Go back there and apply for asylum, apply for immigration status, and do it on that side of the border. But you know why Mexico is just like, come right on through because you can't stay here.
But it's
Even in
hilarious, Stuart.
Mexico, you can't stay.
But Stuart, it's hilarious because Texas finally secures the border. Florida secures their border. It's all fine and dandy. Federal government's pissed off because of that. Both Abbott and DeSantis have sent busloads of people to the north into those democratic cities that want to be sanctuary cities. We love that. Then they get upset. Now I want to see my favorite Governor Newsom because apparently now that Texas secure, the migrants now need to go through California. This should be fun. Will Gavin Newsom scream and yell Or will those idiots in Sacramento City Council, whom I despise right now after what they've tried to pass, and all these other, city councilors, mayors in all of California, are they going to freak out because they now have a migrant problem?
Listen, I think Abbott should start shipping them off to Laguna Beach, to Silicon Valley, to Beverly Hills on one-way buses to the tinsel town where maybe they can become famous in the largest tinsel town that loves open borders. Why are you sending them to places where they don't want to go?
Hey, Stuart,
Everyone wants to be a movie star. They think
Stuart,
of Bruce
you're so
Willis, Arnold
no,
Schwarzenegger,
you're,
Jean Claude Van Damme.
you're so right. We'll send them. So if they don't become movie stars or theater stars, they'll just ask for reparation payments, just like
Yep,
because
yep.
they're just going to find a way to screw. Look, I'm fascinated.
I gotta cut you off. I gotta remind you, before Governor Abbott started the first buses, just as a little history note, you and I said we should start a
A
GoFundMe
GoFundMe
bus page.
campaign,
Okay. And,
absolutely.
and we started it before he did. We talked about it. You know what? I would challenge someone to start a GoFundMe page to ship them from Texas to Beverly Hills. And you
No,
know what? I
that'd be
want them
great.
all to have to watch Beverly Hills Cop the entire way.
Now, you know what? To me, you know what? It's the same thing when they send them to Martha's Vineyard. You remember when they sent them to Martha's Vineyard
That was
and the
classic.
people freaked out?
Yeah, but
Imagine
it's
them
too
sending them to
cold in
Beverly
Martha's
Hills.
Vineyard.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no, not it
cool.
wasn't it wasn't the migrants that freaked out. It was the residents of Martha's Vineyard. And you know what? Look, Stuart, this is the thing that's amazing. Your crime rate is going to go through the roof. Fentanyl is a massive problem. You can watch Netflix all you want, people. You can watch Narcos, you can watch the show Griselda, talking about the drug trade in the coming from Latin America into the United States and whatever. And you might think it's funny, but it's not. This is super, super serious. And what the Democratic Party has done has embarrassed the living hell out of. I mean, we know it's embarrassed itself on a global scale in a variety of places, but in this case, the European Union got rid of all of its borders completely, all of its secure borders. There now people can come in and out, and because that's the way it is in Europe, and that's what they've let happen. Okay, but if you want to live in a European country, you need to be a citizen of the European Union. Not in the United States. I can just walk in the door and go, "Hey, I'm here. Screw you. I want to live here. You have to accept me. You have to do for me." It's like, what kind of arrogant crap? Where did this attitude come from?
King
That now
Biden.
they're entitled.
King Biden likes that idea.
Well, he thinks he's going to get more votes.
Well, you have King Trudeau. Now you got King Biden.
Listen, I think it's Mafia Don, Joe, but that's neither here nor there. But in terms of
Well,
the
that's
immigration,
actually pretty interesting that you use that because let's talk about the mafia. It's a great correlation. I think we should probably plan a
well,
chat about
we'll need another rant about that
the
one for sure.
Biden mafia organization.
Well, I don't know. Is
You know
if
what?
this is
Interesting.
if you're what are you trying to do? Deter you're gonna let's talk about the border so we don't focus on Hunter. Like, what are we doing here?
Listen. Let's talk about finger painting and
Ooh.
finger painting at a half a
Ooh.
million dollars a clip. David, I'm signing up right now because really,
Let's
if
do
I
it.
could get
Let's
a
do it.
job, these hands could do much better work than those hands. Because you know what?
Ah.
Maybe they didn't manhandle enough hookers and
All right,
strippers,
all right, all
but
right,
but these
all
are good
right.
hands.
All right, Stuart. On that note, let's wrap it up. We've opened up a whole other border, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in for our final broadcast of the week. We hope you found real value somewhere in today's dialogue. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. Please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen in the YouTube channel. We are on social media. We have a great website. We're on all over the social media. Podcasting, we're there. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Stuart, say goodbye.
Goodbye.